Yeah! You are watching the number one podcast in the whole wrestling community. I'm your host, Juan.
And I'm your host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And together, we are
Rope Break.
Outbreak. So how's the Robert family today? Thank you so very much for being with us. Another Friday, March 6th of 2020. And like every other Friday, are we ready for some bullshit? And we always ready
Absolutely.
for bullshit. They know how to do it. They do a great job
Yeah,
at giving us trash.
yeah, like it's almost impossible like how you can keep booking such an awful show. Like a show that literally like you don't need NyQuil, you don't need you don't need warm milk, you don't need a nice blanket. All you need to do is watch SmackDown and you're
Yeah,
done.
like the
The most
million ways
boring
of
show. Like you wouldn't have guessed that there was a pay-per-view this Sunday if you watched SmackDown.
yeah.
They did
No,
nothing to hype it. There was nothing. It was a bogus bullshit show like every week. And it's like,
go home show for the Elimination Chamber. And did we get any build up for the Elimination Chamber? Just a little bit. And we got like probably, what was it, Jean Paul? Like 45 minutes of a gauntlet match?
yeah.
Around that. And at the end, of course, they give you the worst outcome out of all of them. Like they hype you for 45 freaking minutes just to crush your soul, like Mandy Rose did to Otis when
Yeah.
she was with Dolph Ziggler at that restaurant.
And the worst thing is like, I mean, that story is the one that we're invested in. Probably the most thing we're invested in on SmackDown since The Fiend is pretty much done. But like you got to think of it from the point where your tag team champions are like have been completely disrespected since they won the belts.
Yeah.
In Miz and Morrison, like they haven't done literally anything. They haven't looked good since they won the belts. It's like that should be your main focus is the tag team champs, not
Not
Otis
Otis, and
and
I mean
Miz.
legit for
Yeah.
heavy machinery, but
Oh
they
yeah.
don't have goal.
Yeah, that's like they make anytime you're a champion, they make you look like a loser, and it's like that's just SmackDown, the land of losers.
Yeah, and like if you could write a book that says a million ways of how to book a terrible show, just like watch SmackDown every single Friday, and you
Mm.
just know how like you get people hype, like maybe like a 2 or 3%, and then at the end in the outcome you just crush them, and then you go for like -10% of
Hmm.
how bad the outcomes are. The show was really bad this week. Nothing really great came out. Actually, like John Paul was saying before we start recording, tagmatches.com. I mean,
Yeah,
Teddy Long would have been really happy for like
yeah,
how they booked this show.
yeah. He
He's
was
probably
going
loved it.
crazy.
And we love Teddy. He's badass. He's such a great entertainer. Probably the best GM that SmackDown ever had. But he was in love with tag matches. So maybe they call him. It's like, what do? We don't know what to do this week. It's a go home show, Teddy. What should we do to
You know, hmm, hmm.
be worse than we normally are? Tag.
Tag.
Just be tag matches. So before we start like going through all the show, we just always want to say thank you to every single one that is watching our videos. Please, help us out with some comments. Subscribe for the new people that are checking us out, family. And don't forget to check the rest of all the content we have. We have Monday Night Raw with Mr. Leek. Great show. Beth Phoenix finally gets the RKO. We both called it, although it took like 10 minutes to set up for that. But in the end, at least she got an RKO. Really good stuff. And the rivalry with Edge still gets,
Yeah.
hotter and
And
hotter.
one thing about that, they announced that Edge is going to be on next week. What do
That's
you think
right.
about that? Do you think
Well,
Edge should have waited, or do you think that it should have been? I think they should have announced it something like we're going to hear from Randy Orton. Just do like a generic, like okay, so we're going to hear from Randy Orton again, but then Edge comes out. I think to announce Edge, they kind of wasted the surprise of him coming back.
I feel that
Unless they did it just for people to tune in because they want the ratings.
yeah, well, here's the thing. After the Elimination Chamber, then, of course, officially WrestleMania will be the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So they have to announce the match right away. He's going to say, hey, Randy, I won the match. And it's official, Edge versus Randy Orton at the greatest stage of them all. I don't know if they're going to be wearing masks because of the situation that is happening worldwide. You can see a photo that I put on the Road Breaks Facebook site, and we will see what happens with that. But like you said, I would have done a little different. I would have done Christian this week, and then Beth Phoenix, and then after that, Edge announces the match.
Yeah.
Like I kind of didn't like how they set it up. Just like 10 minutes, and everybody was yelling, like you said in your review, RKO, RKO. Everybody actually like wanted it.
Yeah.
You have to set it up. Like make it unpredictable. You could have said Randy Orton is not in the building, so Beth Phoenix comes out. He's addressing Randy Orton, just addressing him, and out of nowhere he comes out of the crowd. Boom, RKO. Because people like ever since he came out and she came out, RKO, RKO. They knew. Everybody knew. So,
yeah, because it's not like how many times has Randy Orton RKO'd a woman before?
yeah, so it's so
Yeah.
predictable. We all wanted it. We were thinking it was going to happen, and in the end, what they did, it happened. Moving on, AEW review. Jake the Snake Roberts made his return. He's probably going to manage Brody Lee or Luke Harper. We don't know yet, but like I don't think it's going to be Matt Hardy. I don't think it's going to be the last
Lance
what is
Archer.
Lance Archer. I don't think he's going to manage neither one of them, just because both of them know they don't need a manager. But I think Luke Harper or Brody Lee, he needs a manager because he's not used to being on the mic. He's more like a guy that like is like a second hand, is like the second member of a staple, so he barely is being on the mic. So that was to me like the best part of Dynamite, the promo against Cody. You see how like MJF and Cody is still gonna have that feud going, but they're gonna kind of like step back, and then maybe like the next pay per view, maybe for All Out, they're gonna retake where they left off. So don't forget to watch that. Le Champion is staying in AEW. Jean Paul again is talking about, like I said, Le Champion. Neither one of the dates of Faz's tour is gonna like intervene. It's gonna like counterattack to any episode of Dynamite. So we'll see Le Champion in the months coming. So that's really cool. That's really good news for the ones that like we enjoy the work of Chris Jericho. So that's really great. NXT review, Jean Paul Egg. 2 steel cage matches. We have Tegan Knox against Dakota Kai. Another extremely great match. In the end, Dakota Kai wins. The rivalry probably continues on. And the Velveteen Dream going with Roderick Strong. Like you said, and then I'm sorry I forgot in the review. We got some the Velveteen Dream was almost undressing Roderick Strong. So the crowd was chanting, asshole, asshole.
Yeah,
So,
there was two legit steel cage matches, like you said. And one feud's going to continue, and the other feud ended when he threw Roddy right out the door. But it starts another one because he's coming for Adam Cole, baby.
yeah, he's coming from like he's put his eyes on the NXT Championship, so that's what we're gonna get in the weeks coming for us. But now let's do SmackDown Live, Jean Paul. Although it's a pain, but it's a hard pill to swallow. But it's already swallowing in my throat. So SmackDown Live open. It was from Buffalo, New York, and it opened with a moment of bliss. My goddess was right there, Nikki Cross, both of them looking absolutely gorgeous, and they produce always the most cringy moments in SmackDown history. And this time they have as their guest the NWO.
Where's
So
Hogan?
Alexis starts the show saying, "Well, let me remind you of the people that are going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame." She starts with the Animal Batista. So cool with that. John Bradshaw Layfield, JVL, boo. And one thing for the people that don't know, how he used to get the new wrestlers involved in the locker room, he soap Edge's ass. If you don't believe me, read Edge's book, and he said that was how he welcomed the new wrestlers in the locker room. He will do those kind of things just because like he will mess around with them so they feel welcome. After that, I don't care for John Bradshaw Layfield, although because of those practices, he's in the Hall of Fame. So here she mentions that the Bella Twins, Jean Paul, for everybody's excitement, absolutely like the best duo in professional wrestling. No, I will not agree with that, but they're gonna get inducted for the female side of the Hall of Fame. And like Jean Paul was saying, the NWO. So she welcomes Scott Hall, Sean Woolman, and Kevin Nash. So they come to the ring, and Alexa says, Sean, how am I supposed to call you? The 1 through 3 kid? Should I call you 6? Should I call you X-Pac? Or should I call you Sean? And he goes, well, just call me Hall of Famer. So,
He says they just called me and gave her his number. That would have been
know, like,
badass.
you see, like, there's a cringy moment. Nikki Cross, like, takes a moment and she's like, oh, just know I've been a fan, for the longest time. And, my love for you guys is for life. And she goes and takes a selfie. So you see, like, it was very cringy. Then he says, well, guys, you, she mentions Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. He says, you two defeated our current Universal Champion years ago. He says, Kevin, you beat Goldberg. So he's like, have you given any advice to Roman Reigns? And he says, well, so he actually called me not too long ago and he said, what pointers can you give me so I can defeat Goldberg? And he says, well, you need two things. You need me, and you need Scott Hall and a taser.
That's legit.
And of course, Scott Hall goes, hey, yo. He's like, that's true. That's true. So we get that, you do see that, like, these 5 minutes are, like, really cringy. And then finally, Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn come out. And there's an interaction because Sami Zayn starts talking to Kevin Nash. And he says, you were an IC champion. Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, you were an IC champion too. You guys know the importance of being an Intercontinental Champion. And you, Sean, you understand how heavy those championships are because you always carry, like, their baggage.
That was a legit line.
Yeah, so, like, he's like, you always carry their baggage. So, of course, Sean Wallman gets up and he's like, what's up? You want some? So they're pretending to go at it. He's like, oh, he's like, and Sami Zayn is saying, well, I can take you, all of you guys. It doesn't matter. But today we're putting our eyes in Braun Strowman in our match at Elimination Chamber 3 against 1. And out of nowhere, Sami Zayn comes out. Braun Strowman comes out. So he starts, like, cleaning house with, like, Nakamura and Cesaro. And then Sami Zayn stays there in the ring by himself. And then he turns around and the whole NWO is right there. But then he sees Alexa and Nikki. So he goes and he uses Alexa as a shield. And then he goes off the ring. So that was the whole segment. And then Braun Strowman throws a chair outside to try to hit Sami Zayn. And then Strowman says that on Sunday, Elimination Chamber from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which, by the way, we're going to be there. He says he's going to get these hands and it's going to feel too sweet. And that's how the segment ended. So after this 10 minutes, I think that everybody's ready to change the channel.
Yeah, at least they got the worst and the cringiest, if you can believe it, the cringiest thing out of the way. So that was good. And then one thing I was thinking of watching this, I'm like, please don't let the NWO beat down these three guys.
And yeah, they would have done it.
Because I'm like, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, like, I know Kevin Nash has been getting in a little more shape. He got, knee surgery for like the 13th time, not trying to make a joke, but, And the thing is like, but they're all old. Like, you can't have these old guys be beating up your current talent and expect it to, like, mean anything. Yeah, you'll get the pop from the people who are like 40, 50 years old, but anybody who knows about the business will be like, this is bullshit. Because you're making your current guys look like losers.
No, especially
even more so than they do now. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and especially, for example, we understand the NWO, but see, the one thing I don't understand why Sean Wallman or X-Pac, however, or like 6 or the 1, 2, 3 is going in twice. He's already a 2-time Hall of Famer, but only on groups. Yeah. He's not going to be inducted by himself.
No.
One thing. And if they're going to induct the NWO, they should induct the whole group, like all the people that were in the NWO. What's going on with the Big Show? What's going on with Randy Savage? What's going on with Mr. Perfect? What's going on with everybody that was part of NWO at some point?
Yeah, well, wasn't who was Big Show? Was he part of the group before X-Pac?
Yeah, he was actually the fourth member. Was the Big Show?
That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought he joined before them.
Yeah,
so I was like, why isn't he out there?
Well, because he said something in the Broken Skull session, so he didn't seem too happy about that. Yeah. He's like, and also like they put only 4 members. Like I said, they should put everybody that was part of the NWO, and they will need like 2 days of.
That's probably because Big Show is going to get in the Hall of Fame on his own. and X-Pac, they're like, well, you're not going to get it on your own, so we'll just give it to you here.
But for example, don't you think it sounds silly? Oh, a two-time Hall of Famer, really? For doing what?
Yeah.
For doing what? For
Well,
carrying
I
baggage?
mean, their whole Hall of Fame is bullshit anyway. The WWE.
It's like they don't
You know what
really
I mean?
pay
You got guys
attention
like
to this
Donald
kind of
Trump and
details.
Drew Carey in there, and it's like,
Yeah, Drew Carey. Okay, for one, so you and me are gonna go to the elimination chamber, and they're gonna put us in the Hall of Fame just because of that.
yep, Drew Carey's
Just
in there, Christian isn't. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and Christian isn't, like a guy that held pretty much almost all the titles in WWE was there for like probably what 10 years or so. He was able to goes to TNA, comes back, gets the ECW championship, yet not even considered to be a Hall of Famer. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So this segment did absolutely nothing. It was just to use have Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross to kind of have some TV time, and of course to kind of hide the NWO their induction into the Hall of Fame. Although Alexa Bliss also said that Kabuki Warriors, I know you guys like to like hide on Raw, but just know that like if you ever want to come to see us, it will be for the title. So at WrestleMania, I think they're hinting that it might be Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross going against the Kabuki Warriors once again. So we'll see what happens on that, Jean Paul. So, you see? Yeah, he's nodding his head. He's completely agreeing. So we're going to the first tag match of the night. We go to Bayley and returning, of course, like she made her return last week, Sasha Banks against Naomi and Lacey Evans. The match again, this show felt like kind of rush. I don't know if you got that vibe. Like
Oh,
everybody,
yeah. To
let's
me,
get it over.
yeah,
Let's just
I
get it
thought,
over.
yeah, I thought they were like literally were writing these segments like right before they went on. They're like, so I mean, some stuff they obviously announced like the yesterday or the day before that, but just like just the booking and the producing of all these matches, it's like nothing was good.
Yeah,
Like
no,
the gauntlet match was okay, but nothing was like good in the sense where like you watched it and it's like, oh man, like yeah, I would watch that again. Like it's not like NXT or Dynamite where it's like, oh, that was a good match. I would watch that again. Like all this
you see
stuff.
effort.
Yeah,
You see effort.
yeah,
Yeah, here
exactly.
you.
That's the perfect word. Like guys are going out there and actually like giving a damn. Here tonight, it's like you're working your 9 to 5 job. You just work it, and then when you're done, you're like, whatever.
Yeah, you come for you check. It's like you don't
Yep.
care if you did good, you did bad. So moving along with this, Sasha Banks and Bayley get the win. We're gonna take you to some of the highlights like we always do. And it doesn't give us any indication of anything that is gonna happen either in the chamber or either like moving forward to the storyline that will be in WrestleMania. So we're gonna start with like Naomi get the hot tag and then she hit a corkscrew, a plancha on Bayley and Banks. So that was really cool. Naomi like very like showing all her athleticism. Like she's probably one of the best wrestlers in the SmackDown, I will say, locker room. So she hit a springboard crossbody for a 2 count. Then she kicked Banks a few times. Then Banks landed a kick on her own. And then Naomi hit a scorpion kick and a bulldog into the turnbuckle. So you see, like Naomi, like if anybody, I will just try to see Naomi and Bayley again, just for me because she's the better wrestler out of everybody else. And then Banks was sent down into the ring again, and Naomi landed a kick. Bayley distracted Naomi of the split-legged moonsault, and then Banks got the pin while using the ropes. So, and then in the end, like I said, Sasha Banks and Bayley win. Like I said, what was the point of all of this? I still don't know.
Yeah, like I don't know. You would think that something was gonna happen that maybe Naomi would have got the win over Sasha, and then Sasha would have been like, no, this is bullshit, and then they have a singles match, and then maybe Naomi wins again, and then that's how Naomi gets a title shot. I don't know if I mean maybe they're not doing that. Maybe they'll go the route like we said. Maybe you turn Sasha Banks. Maybe she turns face and she turns against Bayley because that would be the best WrestleMania match for
Yeah,
SmackDown. Would be
yeah,
Bayley versus Sasha for like talent wise, and I feel like the story's there. Naomi does deserve the chance. Like you said, she is talented, and she actually has been wrestling matches. Her first title opportunity, I didn't think she really deserved, but now if she keeps wrestling, keeps winning, she deserves them. But they're making her lose, so it's like there's not much time until WrestleMania. So if she's gonna earn a title opportunity, they got to think of something, not
it
just
needs to
be
be
like,
now.
oh, here you go, yeah.
It needs to be now. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. So hopefully after the elimination chamber, then we get like maybe like a number one contenders match, and like you said, maybe either Sasha Banks turns face, which I don't really see it happen. But if that will happen, that will become like probably the marquee match of all the women. That will overshadow Shayna and Becky Lynch, and that will overshadow either like Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. So, Mr. The Egg, we go to the New Day. He's being interviewed by Kayla Braxton, and they're talking about they're hyping the Golden match, and Kofi's saying that he's talking about recreating Kofi Mania one more time. But Kofi says he's not a man that lives in the past. That's something that already happened. I don't care about that. They're focusing on the Elimination Chamber now, just because of course they have another shot for their tag team belts that they just lost to The Miz and Morrison. So then Banks and Bayley were backstage and they were upset about the Bella Twins going into the Hall of Fame before them. So Bayley said that she'll skip Mania and she'll go right into the Hall of Fame. It's all about the role model era of dominance. So you see how like maybe they're teasing something with the Bella Twins, but they're pregnant. So there's no way that they can be fighting or anything. So do I really care for like these cringy moments? Not really.
No, because like he said that the promo between them, the backstage thing, it's like, it's clearly like that was written for Bayley and Sasha. That wasn't something that where they came up with it. It was just it sound overproduced, it sound cringy, and the same thing with the New Day. Going back to them, they say the same shit all the time. It's like, oh, like it just change the number to whatever title reign they're on. They're going like, we're gonna be the 8-time WWE SmackDown, and it's like, okay, like the Big Show said, like you got guys like Drew McIntyre out here who are legit, and then you got guys slinging pancakes. And like he said, no offense to these guys because they're talented, but it's like you like to see some more seriousness, and they have literally zero seriousness in their body.
And that's why Kofi's reign, fell crap.
Yeah, the seriousness comes out in rare moments
because all they do is like,
yeah,
and all of that, yeah, and I don't really get it. Like you said, the Golden match was kind of decent, but I don't think that like the New Day was going to be believable unless they turn heel, and that would be better. Either being Francesca, they start messing with that, and they start like winning matches, like using Francesca and screwing people. That would be a better New Day for me. And they start throwing the pancakes but at people's faces, or like like here, boom, like kind of like what MJF.
The only way that they could turn heel, I don't think Kofi could turn heel. I think if you had to do it, you'd have to bring it like when Xavier Woods comes back, him and Big E turn heel. And then they just are heel. I don't know. To me, I can't see Kofi playing a good heel.
Oh yeah, and even remember, like even the Big Show said, it's like I want to see more of Big E, but going heel and a singles dude. I don't want to see the New Day anymore. So, Mr. Leegg, we move forward to Shorty G and Apollo, members of the losers team, the jobbers, or some kind of catering team.
Members of the of people who were victim of the name change.
Bullshit. Yes. Yeah, both of them. Yeah, both of them lost their names, and we got just Apollo and Shorty G, and they had a little thing in gorilla position, and G just said that just the world, if he needs help, they're both out to stop Sheamus. So he's like, hey, if you ever need me, hey, I'm right here. So Apollo just left and no sold the handshake. They're using Jean Paul's jargon. He goes, nope.
Why are we even seeing this shit still continue? That's what I want to know. When I saw this, I'm like, why? Who is this for? To me, Sheamus should have came out and, I don't know. Like, I was going to say maybe cut a promo on somebody. Like we said, there's the rumors of him and Daniel Bryan again. If you're going to do that, you need to start that now. But to me, that match should be for a title. And it's too late to get a title on Sheamus, the IC title or anything. So, I don't know what they're going to do. If he's even going to have a Mania match, I'm sure he will because they get everybody on the card.
But
it's like, why? But why do we need to see like Chad Gable and Apollo Crews go against Sheamus for like weeks on end? It's like the Roman Reigns Baron
Corbin. Chad Gable, who's that?
I refuse to call him by his bullshit Vince McMahon name.
Shorty G. All right. I forget. I'm like Chad Gable. Like, who the hell is that? See, that's what WWE does to you. You forget.
If you let them win, dude. I never let them win.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So we get the match with Sheamus, and he's going against Apollo Crews or Apollo. So he went to the top and hit a crossbar for a 2 count, and then he hit a standing moonsault for another 2 count. But suddenly Sheamus, he's a bro kick, and then he wins.
Done.
That's all the notes I have because that's all
Mm.
that happened.
Yeah.
And
This match was done, dude. Like I said, it's like, who is this for? Why do we need to see it? And who cares?
yeah, that's how you
If I
disrespect
was
people even more.
if I was Apollo Cruz, I would just be like, I mean, I don't know. I guess you go out there, do the job, collect your paycheck. But as soon as he's a young guy, dude, as soon as my freaking contract's up, I'm out of there. He could
Yeah,
wrestle anywhere. He could go to New Japan. He could go to like anybody, Ring of Honor. He could go to anybody. He's so talented.
I will go even. I wouldn't go to AEW. I will go to NWA Power. I feel that
Yes.
they will treat me a little better over there, and I'm not saying anything bad about AEW, but I'm just saying like because everybody's going to AEW. If I want to be more kind of like I want to improve myself, I will just go to NWA Power. There's a lot of good talent there. I can learn
Exactly.
from them, and I can put good matches there.
Yeah, I mean, how many wrestling things? AAA, CMLL. There's all
Yeah,
these different promotions. You know what I mean? There's so many things that you can go out there. It's like he was in WWE for how many years? He probably made some good money. Like now he can leave.
yeah,
Now he
and
can
and,
go
and
do
then
whatever.
actually become focusing on being a wrestler rather than
Yeah,
an entertainer. So,
yeah.
Mr. Leeg, we go to a backstage segment. Drew Maverick, he is talking to Drew Gulak, and then he says that he wants to fade Daniel Bryan. So Gulak explained to Maverick some of his weaknesses, and then Daniel Bryan showed up and challenged Drew Gulak for a match at the Elimination Chamber. They're doing this first and
On the
foremost because
Elimination Chamber pre-show, make sure you're in the building at 6. Otherwise, you'll miss the running knee and done.
yeah, so Robert will be tried to be early, and they doing this just because Drew Gulak is from where?
Philly.
He's from Philadelphia, so they need a guy native from Philadelphia. It's not Rocky Balboa,
You
so
get
they
it.
need somebody that people
He'll
get
get a
behind.
he probably still won't get as big a pop as Daniel Bryan, and he'll lose. But I guess it'll be cool
Yeah,
for him to wrestle in his hometown. We'll see.
it is true. It is true. So we'll see what this match happens. But like you said, you're probably right. Pre-show, one running knee, yes, the label lock, and done. So Mr. Egg, we move forward. Then we go to another tag match involving women. Fire and Desire, Sonya Deville, and Mandy Rose going against Carmela, Mela, and the favorite of everybody, Dana Brooke. So
And who came out with Fire and Desire?
Dolph Ziggler, because now, and Corey
Oof.
Graves said it, and Michael Cole also said on commentary, Mandy and Dolph are an item. They're dating right now, of course, but they didn't act like to me. They didn't
No,
even sell it. It's
no. Well,
still
I don't think they are. I think it's just more commentary. And then who knows? Like it's probably like if we go into the storyline of it, it's probably commentaries trying to get it over because Dolph Ziggler probably told them they were. And then eventually, Mandy will be like, "No, we're not." Because you even saw earlier, like or later on the Gauntlet match, Ziggler was like, "Why you worry about him?"
yeah.
He was looking and like watching Otis. He's like, "Why do you worry about him?" And then he's like, "Oh, hold on." When his music hit, so it's like he's more like cocky and insinuating things when she could maybe just think like they're both, she's friends with both of them.
Yeah. And Jean Paul saying, "Why you worry about Juan?"
Yeah,
And Mandy's like, "Well, and then like, hold on, my music," and
yeah,
then Jean
yeah.
Paul
My
goes to the
music.
ring.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta record Dynamite.
Yeah, I gotta record Dynamite, and then she leaves. Exactly. So, for what it's worth, the match was like decent. The same moves that we seen from Dana Brooke, same stuff that we see from everybody else. But with the help of Dolph, Fire and Desire get a win, and we're gonna take you to some of the spots. Sonya wrap around Carmella until Mela got out and healed the Mela go run. Then she nailed some drop kicks and made the hot tag. But then Mel and Brooke hit a double hip toss on Brooke, kicked Sonya in the face, and then Dana did the flipping elbows, match, and the kick. So the whole combination that we always seen from Dana Brooke. Then Ziggler, because of course being a good boyfriend, he distracted Dana, and then Mandy tag in, and without her realizing, then she hit a kick and got the win. Doesn't even do her finisher, just a kick and done. So
Yeah,
we
that's
got
what.
5 minutes of nothing.
Yeah, that's what I thought too when she hit that like knee or kick or whatever it was, and I was like, "Is that like that's it?" Like just, I mean, I know Dana Brooke is a piece of crap, but I'm like, really? Like you can't even hit your finisher? Like it
Yeah,
should have been the kick, like kick in the gut, and then hits the finisher, and then done.
yeah.
Like, but all right,
So I
that's what I
think
mean.
we
It
did
was
this
just
match
like,
just to
yeah,
kind of hide the storyline about
like
Otis, Mandy, and
yeah,
all.
I mean, see, this is the thing. Sometimes in certain wrestling promotions, they give us matches, and we're like, "What? Why is it these people?" But then you watch it, and you're like, "Oh, this was actually good. It was enjoyable." So I'll give it a pass. All these matches, it was like, why are we seeing these people
Yeah,
wrestle? And
there
then
was
the
no
matches,
story behind it, no
yeah,
logic.
there's no story, and then the match quality isn't good either. So it was like pointless in both sides. So it was like, again, another 2 hours. Like, thanks for wasting my time.
Yeah.
But
So now we're gonna move to we really have the you're our friend, and this is the friendship that will ever end.
and
Firefly
this is
Funhouse.
the title reign that will never ever end.
Yeah,
Just
that ended
unless you're
in
Goldberg.
3 minutes thanks to Goldberg. So we get another episode of the Firefly
I just
Funhouse.
thought like what you said, or like that's such bullshit. Oh, did Roman Reigns call you for any advice? Oh my god, dude! I think they are so all in on this Goldberg Roman Reigns thing, and everybody hates it.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's next? Uh-uh,
Up next.
I'm next.
Okay.
Next channel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no, no. Did Roman call you? So really, Roman Reigns has to call Kevin Nash to
yeah.
know how to beat Goldberg? And of course, he says, "Oh yeah, you need Hall and a taser." Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Shit.
So we're moving, like I said. Bray Wyatt is right in the Firefly Funhouse. Do we really care? No, because his character died.
Yeah,
He's
he's
dead.
done. He's
Yeah, he's
done.
done. And then he's talking about the match that we will set up for WrestleMania 36. The Fiend Bray Wyatt, him as the Fiend going against against John Cena. So he says Rambling Rabbit brought up the fact how Cena squashed Wyatt 6 years ago at WrestleMania, and it was quite an apparent exposition. So
Yeah, I
right,
love I love when Rambling Rabbit pops up. He's like, "Yeah," I mean, not his exact words, but he's like, "Yeah, he kicked your ass 6 years ago." He's like, "You can't see me." Like he's like such a mark for John Cena, and then Bray Wyatt's like, "Yeah, he did." Like he's like all like pissed off. He's like about to like kill Rambling Rabbit.
well, if
It
it
was
would have been
legit.
legit Bray Wyatt, it would have been he killed my momentum. He buried me.
I mean, what did Rambling Rabbit even say? He's like, "Oh, this was the start." He's like, "This is what started your like professional and personal downfall."
Yeah,
And
because
he's
that's
not
what it is.
wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he should have won at WrestleMania 6 years ago. He should have won. So then Bray said that the time can either hurt or heal you. Without John Cena, the Firefly Funhouse wouldn't exist. He thanked John and forgave him. However, there is a catch because John Cena also helped create something else. A being built on pain and fueled by vengeance. He is waiting at WrestleMania, and unlike Wyatt, the Fiend is not so forgiven.
Oh, I thought
Life
he
is
was
a
talking
circle.
about Vince. I thought he was talking about Vince McMahon, a being
Yeah.
who's unforgiving.
Well, he even came up with a pay-per-view. The name was Unforgiven. But he says life is a circle. No matter how bright you paint it yourself, the dark side always comes again. And I was thinking about either Darth Vader or The Undertaker or Rob Zombie, but it wasn't any of them. But that's the beauty of the inner circle. No, no. That's the beauty of the circle, not the inner circle. Round and round we go. So we get to see like the promo. Right
It's,
now, Bray Wyatt is so dead. So do I
mm,
care now?
yeah, like I said, it wasn't bad, but there's just no wind behind the sails. It was everything, all his momentum. He was like a runaway freight train, and then he hit a wall with Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
But he broke through, and train kept going, but only half the speed. And then it hit another wall in Goldberg, and now the train's off the tracks.
Oh yeah, no,
And
it's a
they're
crazy trade. It's a
yeah, they're
crazy.
trying their hardest to get it ready and all this stuff. Like, I mean, he'd have to have. There has to be way more legit promos on John Cena's end as well to get me excited for this match, and it needs to be like a 5 minute match, 5 to 10 minutes, and the Fiend wins pretty dominantly.
Oh
Then
no,
I'll
no.
start to be like, okay,
The only way that the Fiend can kind of resurrect, like you said, he has to squash John Cena.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like 5 minutes and done. Like maybe John Cena gets a little bit of offense in early on, but he just no sells it. Like, AA, five knuckle shuffle, immediately sits up.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
it's like, what? You know?
and the Fiend gets the title from Roman. That's what it should be. That's how it should happen, and then we'll see the Fiend rising again. but we know that that's not going to
No,
happen. So we moved to King Corbin, and he was cutting an interview. But then our glorified wrestler shows up, extremely great guitar player Elias, and then you can see that they're setting up a feud between Elias and Baron Corbin or King Corbin. Do we really care? No. Both of
no,
them
but though,
losers.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, hey, like, the rumors were John Cena and Elias at Mania. Thank God we're not seeing that. But at least they're putting two shitty guys together in one match at Mania by the looks of it. So it's like, this is another match I can go to the bathroom for. This is a match we can update the Twitter page, Instagram. That's what I
Now
mean.
we
Like,
can
this is a match.
interact with people. Yes.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is a match we don't gotta care about. But I do like everything that Baron Corbin did actually say though about Elias.
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh
you
yeah.
look like an idiot. You're a shitty wrestler. Like, you come out here, you play guitar. Like, you don't even do anything. Like, who do you think you are? And that's like exactly like, dude, what? You wear a bandana, you drop the elbow, you're trying to steal Jean Paul's gimmick. Like, who are you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like,
So
dude,
it's just true though, and you do a kind of like a pretty bad version of the elbow from Randy. So yeah, that kind of bothers me. I've said that before in the show, but like you said, they're probably gonna set up that for WrestleMania. So we get to that's the good stuff from the show. Otis, our friend Otis, and he's with Taki. He's with Taki. So he's walking up to Mandy Rose and he apologizes about being late for the Valentine's date, saying that she'd be late. So then Mandy says, "Oh, it's too late because a woman doesn't appreciate being stood up like that."
I thought that
So,
was bullshit, dude. I'm like, what the fuck?
mhm. So you see how Mandy pretty much no soul Otis.
Yeah, she said it was done, and it was like, but she like last week she was like, what text? What text? Now this week she completely forgets that somebody used her phone and sent a text message, whether it was Sonya or whether it was Ziggler or whoever. But it was like this week she's just like so,
Mhm.
and it's like no, what the but last week she was like what text? That's what I mean. So the story already has gaps in it, and but I mean it's all just like I said, it's all just to set up. Oh, the cards are going to be stacked against Otis, but in the end they're going to win.
No, I
At
hope
least
that. I
yeah,
hope.
like what are you gonna do? Like knock the guy down and then keep kicking him when he's down and he doesn't get his revenge? Because
I hope they don't do that.
if that's what you do, then you got to turn them heel, and there's no way you turn Heavy Machinery heel.
No. For example, today I will tell you like Heavy Machinery came out so strong.
Hmm.
Despite the loss in the Golden match, they came out so strong and the whole crowd was eating Otis. They loved
Oh,
every single
that's
thing that he
dude.
did.
The chamber is gonna go crazy when he's like, come on! He's like
Oh, man,
rubbing the belly and shit.
we're gonna go nuts. All
Oh
right,
yeah,
we're gonna take our shirts off and we're gonna start rubbing it. And we're gonna be like, ooh, oh, we're
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
crazy.
You
Only for
gotta.
us, yeah. We're gonna go and like we're gonna jump Dolph Ziggler just because like, oh, you piece of crap.
Yeah.
Why you still like
No,
somebody's girl?
yeah, we'll super kick and done.
Yeah, we'll do the zigzag.
We'll
It's like,
even super kick Rude and be like, you're not glorious anymore. Ah,
oh
die.
yeah, like well that piece of garbage. I like oh he go and have your money again. Go to NWA. That's what I want to say about Bobby Roode. So gauntlet match happens takes place. Jean Paul first two teams Heavy Machinery, Tucky, and Otis against the New Day. And see, this is the first upset of the night because actually Heavy Machinery ends up eliminating the New Day.
I mean, it's not an upset for me, but I guess for the crowd, for the commentary team, for all the the losers who are New Day marks, I guess it was an upset. But that's like New Day to me. They're always gonna just be the fallback champions. They're like, oh, we don't know who to have be our champ. There's no real team. We'll just give the belts to the New Day.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Like it's like the go-to champions.
Yeah,
They go to.
exactly.
Yeah, so now doesn't really matter. So good match between the two, and then we go to some like always highlights. Otis slams Big E again, and then they both needed to get back to their feet. Big E attacked Kofi, then Tucker took a tag, then Kofi lifted up Tucky for a bit, and then he hit the boom drop. But then Tucker took Kofi out by slamming him on his neck on the outside, and then they hit the trash compactor on Big E for the win. So like I said, Jean Paul was like pretty much like jumping out of his feet because like he is so excited, and I was so excited to be like, oh, the New Day still. So hey, give me something different. They gave me Heavy Machinery. We were all happy.
They gave us Tucky. They gave us the belly.
And
They
they,
gave
they
us
did
what we
a,
wanted.
both of them did a beautiful vertical suplex. Taki and Otis, so pretty legit. And then the next team that came out was like the Lucha House Party. Um, what's to say about these guys? Talented as crap.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Treated
they're extremely
treated as so.
talented, but yeah,
Treated as so.
they're literally pinatas. They
Yes.
literally just come out there, they get the shit beat out of them, and that's their job.
Yeah, that's all it is. So they put up, of course, a decent show because they're both cruiserweights. They can get the crowd popping, and they made the heavy machinery look really good too. But in the end, they end up losing. Done. So once again, Jean Paul, more highlights of the match. Lindsay Dorado was kept from the tag, and then he hit a springboard stunner on Otis, who got down to one knee, but then he tagged Tucker, and then Metalik came in. And then Metalik flipped around and kicked him and hit a bulldog and a missile dropkick for a 2 count. Then Lindsay Dorado took a tag and hit a splash for another 2 count. Then he chopped Tucky, and then soon Tucky took over, and then he hit a massive throw on Dorado. Then Otis took the tag and he hit a splash and the Caterpillar, and that's how they win. I really love how he did the Caterpillar, although he didn't jump to connect the elbow. He kind of just went like this, and then that becomes his finisher, not a signature anymore, and he gets the win. Unexpectedly, but like for everybody's happiness, Heavy Machinery is still on. So Jean Paul, as of that moment, I think we both are excited about it. But then we get Uso.
Yeah,
So
and
this
that
one
is
is the one like it went really fast too.
yeah. I was just gonna say, like you said, so far, like to beat the New Day, it's like okay, they're gonna beat heavy, are they gonna beat the Lucha House Party? Okay, when the Usos came out, it's like, are they gonna beat the Usos? Because WWE is behind the Usos as well, so like
Yeah.
it was surprising, but you said it was quick, so take us through.
Oh yeah, it was
But
really quick though. It was really quick. So like I said, the Usos are out. Then Jimmy soon had Tucker down in an arm submission. When we came back from the commercial, of course they got to do that. Then Jay took a tag, and then they hit everyone with super kicks because they love to imitate the Bugs of Youth of the Young Bucks. And then suddenly Tucker turned into a pin, around into a roll up for a 3 count. The Usos cannot believe it. We cannot believe it. The whole entire crowd, the whole WWE universe and the Roadbreak universe cannot believe it. But thank to God, the Usos are eliminated. So Heavy Machinery is still on in the Gauntlet match. And then we get the tag team champions, The Miz and Morrison. So this one, I'm like, okay, they're going to win because they're the tag champions. So therefore, they should be portrayed. They should be pushed as champions, right? That's what they
yeah,
should be doing.
and also I feel like there should have been some kind of champion's advantage. I mean, I know a gauntlet's all supposed to be like just luck of the draw, but they're heel champs. I feel like they should have been the last ones to come out.
Yes.
And you could have had Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode be the second last team, and they could have Heavy Machinery could have pinned them, and then maybe Otis was the legal man, and Dolph Ziggler was kind of hanging around there, and then when the Miz and Morrison make their way down, Ziggler goes back in the ring. Maybe Bobby Roode pulls Tucker off the apron. Ziggler super kicks Otis. They ring the bell. Boom, boom, boom. Skull crushing finale. Starship Pain. 1, 2, 3, and done.
That's what I would have booked it.
That's how I would have booked it, because then it
That's
would
how
have
I
been.
would have booked it exactly like yours because, they're your champions.
Yeah,
Can you please make them look
no,
like champions?
no, dude. I like John Morrison is probably like, oh man, here
It's
I
like,
go again. Like, you know
like,
what I mean? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Like, why did I come back here?
and then fool me like this the third time, strike 3. And you know who said that, Jean Paul? Tegan Knox in a
Yep.
different promo for his match with Dakota Kai, but we're not going to talk about that. But it was funny that you said those 2 lines because I just saw a video of Tegan Knox saying exactly the same lines. So, like you said, I'm kind of like, it's so disappointing to see how champions are being represented or portrayed on television. And like, why you give the titles to these guys if you're going to treat them like crap?
Because they're just
Morrison,
gonna.
I mean, The Miz, he's a man of the house. He's been through this. He knows. But Morrison is just coming back. You
Yeah,
bury the guy when he came out and opened that door, and he's like, "Oh, The Miz is not available at the moment, Kathy Kelly." That's when he was already buried. All
oh,
right,
he
that
was already done, and then the
you
Royal
didn't
Rumble
clock in.
done.
You didn't even clock in, and you're already done.
Yeah, like I
Done.
said, like yeah, and everything he's done up until this point, like he's talented as all hell. You see that when he wrestles, but he just At the end, it's like it doesn't matter how talented you are. They just look at your wins and losses or like, your crowd reaction.
Yeah. So Michael Cole was saying something that really legit because like the whole match was it was really decent between the both teams, but like the whole thing is like Tucker was pretty much in the ring. So the story was like if he is able to give Otis the tag because Otis was just recovering. So
Uh-huh.
Michael Cole said this place is gonna explode if Otis can somehow make it there. So Michael Cole then also said, look the tag, and then people went bananas when Tucker was able to give the tag to Otis. So then he hits a shoulder tackle or two and back to back body drop, the miss, and then Tucker somehow rolled Morrison up for another 3 count because at this point Tucker already had the tag again, and then they beat the crap out of Tucker. Otis took some damage too, but then Mandy Rose watched on the screen, and then you see Dolph Ziggler, and then he said he'll take care of him, and then Otis looked right, and then like Jean Paul was saying, he's like, what do you care about it? That's why you see, why you care about it, and it's like, oh, my music is about to hit, because like you can see, like, he's about to come out, and then Otis took a right through the barricade, and then he stayed there for a while. But then I think that like they hit the compactor again, right, Jean Paul? Or how's the
Yeah,
end of this
yeah.
match? Yeah, they hit the compactor and they beat Morrison and The Miz. So we're both thinking, okay, your champions just got defeated. Why? You know what I mean?
Like I said, they just don't care. That's like the thing. They don't care about the champions. They don't care. I saw a tweet somebody tweeted last week. They were like, okay, so the first night of your champions and they lose, that your tag team champs are like, does this company not care about the integrity of titles and wrestlers? And Bray Wyatt, like the official Bray Wyatt, he like, with the little check mark verified it's him. He tweeted back at this person and he said no. As in, like, no, they don't care about the integrity of their titles and the integrity of their wrestlers. They don't care. He
Yeah,
flat out was like, no, they don't. They don't give a shit. They don't care about you. That doesn't mean anything to them.
exactly.
That's what it
Absolutely.
means to them. They saw that this Otis storyline took off, and we're fans of it as well. So we're not going to complain in that aspect, but we're going to complain in the aspect of I just presented you a way that you could have got the storyline over and your champions over.
Yes.
You just have Ziggler and Rude lose, second last team. Boom, they super kick them. They take, spine buster on Otis on the outside, maybe spine buster into the barricade. So he's really injured. And then, skull crushing finale, Starship Pain, and done.
Yeah.
Champions win.
And
They
then
get
your
the bye.
champions go strong going
Yeah.
into the elimination chamber. But they don't do that. They don't
No.
present the word that you use. I really love integrity. There's
Yeah.
no integrity when it comes to your talent, especially when if you're a champion, you don't have any legitimacy, any validity. It's just awful how they portray the champions. So again, Heavy Machinery is still on the Golden Match. They're the Dark Horse and the Revelation team, and then we get Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. Like you said, okay, why they coming next? Just because of like this storyline that they have with Mandy, and the whole match again is like, can Otis get the tag? He finally gets the hat tag, and then he hits suplexes, and then they threw Bobby Roode across the ring. Then Roode kicked Otis in the face, but Dolph made a tag and then was pushed up the apron. And then Michael Cole is saying like, oh, he doesn't even know that like Ziggler is the legal man. So
Yep.
Otis didn't realize that, and then Dolph Ziggler ends up hitting a super kick, and then they win the match.
Yeah, and this for me, yeah, it was like as soon as he said that, he's like, I think he was going for the caterpillar again on Rude. He was like,
Yes,
oh, he doesn't know he's the legal man. Ziggler comes in, super kick, and I mean, I figured the heels were gonna win, but I'm like, it was the same thing with Dana Brooke. I'm like, is it gonna really be a kick? Like
yeah,
he's just gonna win with a super kick? Like, come on, that's like such a bullshit move nowadays. Like a super kick is like a right jab.
yes, it is.
It's,
And
it's
like the one thing I didn't like is like as soon as like they hit the pin, you see the credits. You see the
yeah.
SmackDown symbol and like
And it was only 9:57. They still
yes,
technically had 3 minutes.
yes,
Fox was probably like, get this bullshit off the air as soon as possible. And Vince was
yes,
like, oh shit, we gotta get this off. They're pissed.
yes, exactly. So I didn't get that. And this match, this whole gauntlet match, the main point of it was like to give advantage to the team that won because that team will enter last
Hmm.
in the elimination
Yeah,
chamber. So
so
Bobby
like
Roode and Ziggler will be last.
and like we say, if this is all setting up for them, they win the belts at Chamber, and then if they hold them until Mania, and then they drop them to Heavy Machinery, then you know what? Hey, that's cool. But it's still, it just makes Ziggler and like, why couldn't the New Day be the champions then?
Yeah,
Why did Morrison and Miz have to even win the belts if they're only going to hold them for like 2 weeks? Not
I,
even.
yeah, and see that's the stuff we don't get. Good thing for Heavy Machinery, at least they look good, and to me that is going to set them up to have a championship match at WrestleMania. And like you said, probably if this is with Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, that's going to be really legit. Especially if they end up becoming champions at WrestleMania because you want to give them a big pop. And
Oh
maybe
yeah.
Mandy finally turns on Ziggler and then she joins Otis. Maybe like a top kiss, maybe like a and then
Mhm.
good.
Yeah,
And that will
like Princess Peach kissing Mario at the end of the game. It's just like a kiss on the
yeah.
forehead, kiss on his nose, on
And you
his cheek,
finally kill
whatever.
Koopa. And in
Yep.
the case of Koopa will be Dolph Ziggler and
Mm.
then done.
And
So
done.
Robert family, this show was the go home show for before the Elimination Chamber, as you guys can see. Nothing of importance came out of this show.
No, and like I said, like when you watch SmackDown, it really, besides the 3 hour length, it makes you appreciate Raw that much more. Raw is somehow way more legit than SmackDown.
Now you said if they will do it, like you said in your review, and you said it yesterday on NXT also, like if they will be able to chop that whole hour of Monday Night Raw and have 2 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, Monday Night Raw will absolutely kill
Oh my god,
SmackDown.
yeah.
Despite of all the many reports that Vince McMahon came back and he rewrote a lot of the segments. For example, he's behind the thing with Ricochet being buried. He was behind all of that. He was behind also the thing with Shayna Baszler. He's not impressed with Shayna Baszler, so there might be changes coming up. I'm just throwing that out there. So those were all the things that like he's been changing around. He's like he does. It seems like he doesn't like Ricochet that much. So we don't know what's going on that.
Hmm.
But we'll, as more reports come
I
out,
wonder why.
yeah, as more reports come out, we will keep giving you more insight about that. And Jean Paul and I, we wrapped out the show. I hope that all of you enjoyed it. Please, 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 for the new people, new members of the family that are checking us out, welcome. Welcome to Bro Break, and please help us out subscribing and also hit the bell for all the notifications. Every single day of the week, we're putting content for you. And tomorrow we'll be back with previews and predictions. Jean Paul and myself will be talking before we head to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, to visit the Rocky Balboa one more time and to be in the Elimination Chamber. We will have a lot of things we're going to film over there. We're going to give it our reactions. You're going to see our entrances. We're going to have a lot of content for you guys. And of course, our review in Spanish, in English, in Mandarin, in Italian. No, not only Spanish, English. We will do all the reviews, every single move, every single thing are going to come out of the Elimination Chamber to get us ready for WrestleMania, either with a mask or without a mask. So, Jean Paul, any closing thoughts on your end?
No, just, I mean, the same old. You covered it all. Follow us on all the social media if you haven't already. Subscribe on here if you're new and you haven't done that. And like you said, we're gonna be at the Elimination Chamber. Despite this go home show being very disappointing, Raw's was decent. I'm still excited for the Chamber. Some legit matches. Even the pre-show should be legit. My prediction for the pre-show is probably Daniel Bryan and Drew
Drew Gulak.
Gulak,
Drew
and then
Gulak.
probably the IC Championship match. I could see that being pre-show. But so legit pre-show, legit actual show. Both chamber matches will be kind of disappointing in a sense that they're both pretty predictable. Not the tag team one so much, but the women's, but should still be legit. It should still be a legit fun show. Everything's more fun when you're there in person, can experience it live, and
And what
besides
better,
that,
what better thing to improve the show than Road Break, be it not the Elimination Chamber?
oh yeah, everyone who's sitting around us is gonna have a good time.
That's right. So, in the name of Jean Paul and myself, we want to say thank you so much for watching, and we also want to say,